And for more on tariffs hitting Canada, let's get a perspective from Aurel Braun. He's a professor of international relations and political science at the University of Toronto. Professor Braun, thank you for joining us. I'd like to hear your analysis on this.
Donald Trump wants to be a great disruptor. He wants to change the international order, basically in favor of the United States. Trade wars are a form of warfare. Consequently, they are invariably painful and highly unpredictable. And this is why there's concern both in the United States and in Canada. But the case is that Canada and the United States are not at the same level. The American economy is 10 times larger than that of the United States. We are far more dependent on the United States than they are on us, even though there are sectors where there is clearly American dependence. This is why the Wall Street Journal considered that this was a dumb trade war. But I suspect that Canada, in a sense, may be collateral damage because Donald Trump wants to engage in a kind of reordering of matters, particularly with Mexico and, of course, other countries. But there obviously have been differences over politics, over economics, over the military in the case of Canada. We will see what will be the outcome, but obviously there is a tremendous amount of worry in Canada. And because of this asymmetry, perhaps one can go to this line in great literature, in Cervantes, where the squire to Don Quixote said that in the case of the ceramic pitcher, it doesn't matter if the pitcher hits a stone or the stone hits the pitcher, it's bad for the pitcher. And in this case, unfortunately, Canada is the pitcher, especially given the ineffective policies of our Prime Minister, Mr. Justin Trudeau, who has so run down the economy and has so basically failed in politics that his own party has forced him to resign, and he will be leaving Parliament next month.
While you spoke, sir, you mentioned two texts. I'd like to refer you back to the Wall Street Journal one, not the Miguel Cervantes one. The Wall Street Journal called it the dumbest trade war in history, and part of our article dwelled in the American side of the damage. How do you analyze, or how do you see the damage on American firms trading with Canada?
Clearly, we are a highly integrated economy. If you look at the auto sector, and the United States also buys a great deal of oil and gas from Canada, you will notice that the tariffs on oil and gas are lower, supposedly 10%, and they will not kick into force until the 18th of this month, according to Mr. Trump. But obviously, American companies will be affected. There will be retaliation on the part of Canada. But what often happens with firms is that they try to absorb some of the cost of the tariffs. So in a sense, very frequently, companies pay part of the cost, not the consumer, or the consumer may pay only part of it. But in the long term, it can be very, very harmful. And this is why there are issues where Canada can move. We have already decided that we're going to spend $1.3 billion on our borders to secure the borders more against illegal immigration, as well as drugs. So the question would be why this wasn't done before. The Minister of Defense said that Canada will try to reach, or could at least potentially reach, the 2% guideline spending, and we are a member of NATO and of NORAD. They could reach it in about 2 years instead of the projected 2032. Again, the question is why this wasn't done before. So there have been problems even without Donald Trump, but now they have become really acute. And this will be very disruptive, and we will see what will happen, what could be negotiated. I have a sense that it would be wise to negotiate, particularly Canada and the United States, because this is where, in terms of the international system, probably there is more manageability than in many other bilateral relations, and it would be wise, therefore, to find some kind of negotiated solution.
Professor Aurel Braun, thank you very much. Great having you.